Hello and welcome everyone to this information session on Veritas. My name is Girish and I'm the technical specialist at Tech Data looking after Veritas Technologies. The topic for today is 360 data management. So, as part of the discussion, today we'll be talking about what are the common challenges organizations are facing when it comes to managing their information. And Veritas has some solutions that can help you when it comes to managing your data and how you can have a proper policy so that that can be applied throughout the data lifecycle. Also, as part of the solution, Veritas has launched some of the new products which I'm going to share with you. I won't be able to share all of them because there are almost 8 products which Veritas has launched, but I will touch upon at least 3 of them and give you a brief sneak peek of information map, which is one of the important component of data management, and show you how you can use that to your advantage when it comes to managing data across different sites, which are spread across different data centers around the globe. So let's get started, and I would like to start with the Veritas mission and what we believe at Veritas. So as we all know that now Veritas is an information management slash data management company. So anything that you have to do with your managing data, managing information in your organization, Veritas comes into play. And there is no denying that we live in the age of information explosion. So the amount of data which humanity has generated in the last 10 to 15 years has been more than what we have done in almost 1,000 years. So you can see that managing the information in a proper manner is a big task when it comes to enterprise data management when we're talking about. Some experts are also saying that that information is a new currency, which I totally agree, and the organization which makes better use of that will depict their success. The classic example I would like to quote is Google. As we all know that everybody uses Google, right? And I use Gmail, I use the Google Drive, YouTube, and you have never seen that Google coming to you and asking you to buy something. But we all use on a daily basis Google. I'm just quoting Google because it's one of the biggest company when it comes to data management, and the biggest uh, asset that these companies they have is the information. It is the information about you and me and information in general, and that's how they monetize this is the biggest asset. And when we talk about any enterprise or any organization, the biggest asset that I believe is their data and how they manage that information, whether it's to develop an application, whether it's to make your organization more agile or make it more productive. It is all has to do with all the data that you have generated by different means, whether it's an application which is generating the data or anything else. So people they need help when it comes to managing their data, managing their information, and that is what Veritas specializes in. And we have been doing this for more than 25 years, and we will continue to do that. And that will become more, uh, uh, that will become, you'll be able to understand more as I go along and explain you certain things so that you have a better understanding. So to understand that, we still need to know like what is the driving force, why people they need help when it comes to information management. So as you can see this on the screen, starting with the hybrid cloud, that's the buzzword now. People they want to move their application from on-prem to the cloud, and that's where the technology is going. But having said that, I don't think so that the world is still ready from the IT infrastructure point of view that they want to move all their applications. So they are taking uh, starting with servers, which makes sense. They will move it in bits and pieces. So they want to have a roadmap of say 3 to 4 to 5 years, and then slowly they will move. So hybrid cloud infrastructure is the norm. So you have some infrastructure on-prem, and then you have some servers or some application running in the cloud. But when it comes to managing the information in this kind of environment, the data still needs to be accessible, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud. You still be able to transport the data. So that becomes a challenge from the IT side, how you manage that hybrid infrastructure. Now, the advantage of working with your data more closely is that you want to make sure that your business they run productive. You are able to plan better, and you can also able to monetize the information. But before you apply any big data analytics, there are a lot of pre-work that needs to be done. Before this can be applied, you still need to do provisioning. You still need to have access to high-end SAN storage. So yes, big data is a big thing, but you need to do a lot of prep work before that can be done. And we all know that we live in this world of compliance and regulations. So the rules which were made from the IT perspective maybe 20 years or 25 years ago, they are not relevant anymore. I'm sure everybody is aware of GDPR, which is Global Data Regulation, which is coming in European Union from May 2018. And it is believed that so what does that mean is basically you need to make sure that your client's information, your customer information doesn't leave that particular geographical location. And if you don't comply with that, the fines can be as much as 4% of your gross profit, which can make most of the organization go bankrupt in case there's some sort of litigation or some sort of case against them and that is proved in that. So that is a big deal. So you need to make sure that from the data perspective that you comply and you have a proper policies throughout the data life cycle to manage that. Now, other expectation from the application point of view is that your application are always up and running. You need to make sure that they are available 24/7. That's a normal norm. The same way the mainframes were like 10 or 15 years ago. So it is very important from the data perspective that you have solutions in place to make sure that your applications are always up and running. We always hear the news that for example, like a couple of months ago, the British Airways system went down. And when we're talking about these corporate organization, couple of minutes or even couple of hours of a downside, uh, you are talking about millions of dollars of loss. So you need to make sure that your applications are always up and running, and we'll see how Veritas can help that. Now, along with that, we also see that a lot of people they're adopting commodity-based hardware, right? The hardware which doesn't have any value on top. It needs a lot of software to use it, software which Veritas provides, and more likely you will have some sort of legacy hardware from say NetApp or HP. So as these IT organizations they have to deal with these legacy hardware, and at the same time they're asked to be more agile. So from the data management perspective, it is very challenging for them. And along with the adoption of commodity hardware, we also see that a lot of people they are adopting open source, whether it's OpenStack and containers. Now that's very good news from the developer side. Now from the data management, it brings some of its own challenges when it comes to security, scalability, and storage performance. So these are some of the case scenarios which IT has to deal with, and these all relates to data management. So the question arises, how do you meet with the new requirement? Now, at Veritas, we believe that the only way to solve the solution is through software, because software has the only capability which can bring together all these underpinning technology. Now, there are a lot of point-to-point solutions in the market which only deals with the problems in silos. So say, for example, some of the solution only deal with backup recovery. Some of them they only deal with uh, availability of the application, and some of them they only talk about say compliance or regulation or archiving things, right? But they don't talk to each other. So it's very important that you have a robust solution in today's day and age, so that you can have from a single pane of glass you have a complete visibility from end to end, not through uh, like 10 different solutions which only deal with any specific kind of problem. So you need to have some sort of complete bird's eye view into all these different segments that are involved when it comes to managing IT infrastructure. So some of the questions that you need to ask the customer is that like what they have when it comes to make their application always available, what kind of solutions they have in their infrastructure to keep the application always up and running. And as we all know that storage is a big problem, data is growing. So what they have when it comes to managing the storage, are they backing up everything? Do they have some sort of policy? Do they have some sort of software defined storage which manages it intelligently? And as you move towards the cloud and open source, what strategy you have with the data in a different environment, different infrastructure? And when it comes to compliance and governance, what kind of policies and what kind of tools they have so that they are compliant and they are as per the requirements or the regulation which are laid down by the government. And and as a business you want to be more agile, you need to have insight into your data. So information like who has access, what they have done on that particular data, anything to do with the insight of the data, so that you can take a business decision. Maybe you want to archive that, you want to move it from your first tier to second tier storage. All those information, all these questions you need to ask the customers. So the Veritas approach when it comes to managing all these problems is that you need to have a holistic approach. And as I mentioned, that rather than dealing and having a point-to-point solution which only deals with any specific problem, you need to have a complete data management, lifecycle data management, visibility from end to end. So we talk about information protection because we cannot have availability or insight of the data until and unless we have protected the information. So information protection is a very big thing when it comes to 360 data management. Now we talk about information availability. It's not just about the data. We are also talking about the application which generates this data, and to make sure that your applications are always up and running. Now resiliency has been always complex because of the reason of that it is expensive, and people they don't have the tools when it comes to managing or making the information available in a heterogeneous environment. So information availability is a big thing which Veritas is into. And after you have protected and made your application available, Veritas give you information insight. So when I say insight into your information, as I mentioned, that we give you information about the data which is important. You can segregate the data which makes business sense to keep, the data which has not been accessed for a long time, the data which is stale, and so if it has not been accessed, why it is, or why you're spending as an organization money to save it on your primary storage, for which you spend a lot of money. Maybe you can archive that, you can delete it, and then further drill down into who has access to that particular information. And the software will as part of the intelligence will give you prompts, or you can see what people in your organization are doing with that particular piece of information. And if you see that there's some sort of gap between that, it will generate automatic alerts for you, so that you can apply proper policies and uh, have a proper retention when it comes to managing that particular piece of the segment. So the three components as I talked about, so under information protection comes the backup and recovery, integrated appliance, copy data management, and distributed file system. And this has product lines such as backup exec, net backup. We are also talking about net backup appliance. We have a velocity, which is a copy data management solution. Information availability includes software-defined storage, disaster recovery, business resiliency. So it has product lines such as Veritas Resiliency Platform. Then we are talking about InfoScale product line. So all those will be part of the information availability. And when it comes to information insight, we're talking about archiving, file classification, e-discovery, data provenance. So we are talking about products such as Enterprise Vault, Enterprise Vault.cloud, which are archiving tools. Then we have information map and data insight, which gives you insight into your data. And then we have e-discovery, and you can further drill down into and you can have a proper uh, searches applied, and you can go down very minute. These are all part of the information insight. So the three components which can be applied to regardless of where your data is residing, whether it's on a physical infrastructure, virtualized, whether it's in cloud, and the three components as I talked about includes protection, availability, and insight that completes 360 data management. And the unified data protection is net backup. Net backup is the core, and being the top enterprise solution for backup and recovery, we can use net backup to manage all the three scenario in a holistic manner. And as a part of the solution, uh, the first thing I want to talk about is the insight. And in insight, we have something what you call a information map. This is a new product which has been launched by Veritas, and it integrates with net backup. So from easy to understand GUI based method without doing any complex scripting or generating any reports, you can easy to understand in a visually way. You can see where your data is located, how old it is, and then you can take business decision. So having said that, let me just give you a quick peek into what it looks like when it comes to the information map. So let me just quickly. So as you can see that I am on the portal of main dashboard of information map, and you can see that I have multiple location in my organization, and easy to understand. You can see that I have around about 567 terabyte of data spread across different data center, different region. Out of that, I can categorize into orphan data, stale, and the data which is non-business related. So without generating any reports, and as I said, without any scripting or anything, it gave me easy to understand. So if you are a head of the IT organization, you can see that I'm spending close to $1 million on the data which is stale, and that is residing on my primary storage. So maybe I can move it to the second tier or third tier storage and save this $1 million per year. And other data I'm talking about is non-business related data which doesn't make any sense to be stored on my primary storage. Or maybe I can delete that. These can be the employees' videos or music files or photos that I'm just spending money, and I can further drill down into location also. So I can further see like where are all the shares are. So if you can see, I can see content source, item type. I can drill down by item type also. I can see who the owners are. I can also segregate by item extension, how long they have been there, who has accessed. So all this information I can manage via the information map. So very easy to understand. It's generating a lot of interest, and people, they want this kind of solution when it comes to managing their information. So from the deployment side, when it comes to information map, so just to give you an idea, as I said, you need net backup in the environment. So as you know that net backup is the enterprise class business and recovery solution. So you need to have net backup server, and you need to have, I'm talking about net backup master server. So we are talking about a net backup domain. So once you have the net backup server, what you will do is you will need a agent server for information map, and it will need to be added to the net backup master server. So you can go to the net backup master server host properties, and you can add net backup information server, and it will take all the information from net backup master server catalog and metadata, and it will upload that information to the Veritas cloud. All the computation is done in the Veritas cloud. So it's very lightweight. So you're not utilizing much of the resources. And this agent server can be deployed on a 2012 R2 server and later. And it will compute everything in Veritas cloud, and easy to understand. As I said, in the GUI based method, it will show you on the screen when you log into the URL. It will show you where your data is located and how much money you're spending when it comes to the storage. And other thing I want to add is that it can also scan your data. So if you have a cloud infrastructure, so say for example your data is also in this S3 Amazon storage, it can also scan that. So not only on-prem, not only the virtualized environment, you can also scan the data in the residing in the S3 cloud, because as we see that a lot of people, they are moving their information to the cloud storage. So it can scan that too. And also from the compliance reason, it is very important that you are able to deliver or give information to the audit department or the compliance department how your data in the cloud is managed. So that can be done via the information map too. So that completes the compliance part, and with information map, you're able to do that too. So the second thing which comes into play is the information availability, and in that one we have VRP, which stands for Veritas Resiliency Platform. And as I said, that the normal expectation is that your applications are always up and running. There are a lot of tools in the market which can do that, but there are very few options available when it comes to managing your heterogeneous infrastructure. So regardless of your application running on Unix, Linux, or Windows, it doesn't matter. VRP can integrate that. So if you want to move your application in case of DR scenario from one location or from primary data center to a DR location, you can do that too. If you want to move your applications from primary or from on-prem infrastructure to the cloud, which is very popular, because people, if they don't want to spend money on managing their secondary data center, they can use cloud infrastructure, whether it's from Azure, whether it's from Amazon or Google, as a failover option. They can do that too. So VRP integrates with all these biggest public cloud vendors. So that can be done via the Veritas Resiliency Platform, and NetBackup also integrates with that. Now you don't need a NetBackup to work with VRP, but with NetBackup we also have auto image replication, which can use that too. But if you want to use, you can use VRP as a standalone product. So that is part of the availability. And then we have the protection component. And in that one, we have net backup and velocity. Now, velocity is a copy data management solution. Now, from the organization point of view, as we know that the success of any organization depends upon how quickly they launch the application in the market. And before that is done, a lot of prep work needs to be done, we need to provision the production copy to the proper entities who can work in that, whether it's application developer or data analytics specialist. So the way the provisioning is done nowadays is very cumbersome. Sometimes it takes days and weeks before the actual copy can be delivered to the right individual before they will start working on that one. Now that's waste of time. And also, when it comes to the storage, these production copy, they take a lot of space. Now with the Velocity, which is a copy data management solution, you can it takes a snapshot, so it takes only 10 to 15% of the size of the original copy, and it is all automated, so you can provision the copy within few minutes to the right individual, and he can start working on that and develop the application. And uh, the work is done on that particular piece of information, it can be scrapped, it can be deleted in easy, very GUI based method, and there are not a lot of entities involved. And another thing in that one is that when you give these production copies to these people, there might be some sensitive information which you don't want to disclose to them. So from the system admin point of view, you can mask that information. So if that information includes such as driver license or the social insurance number of the customers, you can mask that information so that it is not visible, and it all comes all included with the Velocity. You can use it as a software, you can deploy that on your own server. It also comes in the appliance too, so if you the very similar way that the net backup appliance, which is one of the most popular backup recovery appliance in the marketplace, Velocity can be also bought in form of uh, in form of appliance too, and it totally integrates with NetBackup. So if you're already invested in NetBackup and you're using that, it makes sense to have a copy data management solution such as Velocity. So these are the management suite we have from the 360 data perspective. We know that sometime when it comes to licensing, it can get a bit challenging. So we have three packages for you with the name Bronze, Silver, and Gold. So in the Bronze bundle, we have included Net Backup for you. We have also included Information Map, as well as Enterprise Vault file management. The good thing is that you don't need to worry about how many servers you have, what kind of tier level you have, what kind of operating system. It is based on front-end terabytes. So basically the amount of data that you're trying to protect. With the Bronze bundle, you'll get all these three options. You'll get the Net Backup platform-based complete edition, information map, enterprise vault, file management, all in one suite. Then in the Silver bundle, we include all those three things, plus the add-on is the resiliency platform, or Veritas resiliency platform, which is an application availability solution or DR or high availability solution. So as I said, and give example of some of the scenario, you want to move the data, or you want to migrate your servers from on-prem to the cloud, you want to fail over that and fail back that will be all part of the Silver bundle, along with net backup, information map, enterprise vault, file management. And again, it is all based on front-end terabyte. You don't need to worry about the classes of server or the tier level or the operating system. And then finally, we have the Gold bundle, which includes everything. So we are talking about net backup, we're talking about information map, enterprise vault, file management, VRP, we are talking about Velocity, and we are talking about Access, which is software defined storage for scale out NAS infrastructure. All this is included with the Gold bundle, and you get a complete solution from the data management side. They integrates with each other, and everything is included in part of the Gold bundle. And from the price side, it is very competitive. It is very competitive. If you need more information, you can always reach out to the sales team. So very easy to manage these solution. And from the coding side point of view, this 360 data management suite is very easy to code. It's based on simple front end Terabyte. So this session was on 360 data management. I hope you have a better insight into the challenges that are being faced by the organization from the IT side. And I hope that Veritas will be able to help with the built-in solutions that we have to cater to different needs. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.